So this weekend, we kick off stage 2 of the GBE UK sponsored National Points Championship Shootout at Skegness Raceway. We'll also have a bit of an international flavour at the event in the form of Drake York. Drake, good evening. We thought we'd get you on just to kind of find out a bit about you. I saw Rob on Sunday. He's like, I've got this guy coming over. We have a bit of a chat so we can do a bit of a PR in terms of publishing it before you come to Skegness. So we thought, let's get you on and find out who you are, where you're from.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And let me just start off with saying Rob is probably the greatest PR person I've ever had. He promotes me way more than I promote myself. So I'm always appreciative of Rob, and, he's done a lot. But yeah, I know a lot of people in UK might be familiar with what I do. So I'm the on-air pit reporter, or one of them, for the United States Auto Club in USAC. So it's non-wing sprint cars, midgets, Silver Crown. Tom Harris comes over. He runs with our series, a few times a year. This year he was out in Florida. So I am very much a non-wing sprint car, well, really just a sprint car person in general. And then I also occasionally cover IndyCar with the fine folks at the IndyCar Radio Network. And I kind of pride myself on doing a little bit of everything. Did high school sports at one point for my high school just down the road from me in Brownsburg. I've done everything from motor racing to parades, football games, basketball games, you name it. I feel like I've done a really good job at diversifying. And like I said, I try to be good at a little bit of everything. And the UK stock car scene is definitely different than what we have out here. So I'm really excited to check it out and see what it's all about.
So two things. You clearly love talking. And is this like your full-time job? This is what you do like day to day, week in, week out?
Yeah, pretty much. I have a few part-time jobs down the road, but it's kind of whenever I'm home. With the USAC stuff, that alone, at least on paper, I couldn't give you an exact number right now on rainouts, but that's usually 90 nights a year. And then you got to factor traveling and stuff like that. And I'm just a race junkie. So, and as she said, I love talking. So if there's a race I can go talk at that's on an off night from USAC, 9 out of 10 times I'll usually at least try to pursue it. And then I obviously, we're talking about me going to the UK to do a few races. I've got Australia coming up. So I'm busy all the time. Yeah. So to answer your question, I would say mostly it is my full-time job.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how you'd have time to put anything else in with what you just described there. It's brilliant. So you mentioned Rob. So how did the opportunity come about to come over to the UK? You're going to be here this weekend. So how did that come about?
Well, I guess we kind of have to back up to Thomas Meseraull coming over last year. And of course, he does a fantastic job with the YouTube stuff. And I have always been fascinated with Thomas Meseraull. He's just one of the most interesting guys, not just in our forms of racing in the US, but I would argue in any form of racing anywhere in the world. He's just got that personality. And he's done such a great job on the YouTube channel. And he went to Skegness last year and he posted all these videos. I mean, it was all the stuff from the test all the way up to the finals. And it just looked so fascinating to me because, like I said, I mean, we don't have anything like what you guys have over there. And it's a really unique scene with the UK stock cars. So I was kind of picking Thomas's brain when he came back from it. And then Tom Harris, who I don't have to explain to you guys who Tom Harris is, he came over and he ran our Florida Speed Week. So we raced, about 7 days straight in Florida. He came down and ran all of them. And so I just ran into him. We were kind of, going back and forth about it. I was asking him about it. He's like, well, have you ever thought about coming over? I said, honestly, a little bit, after watching Thomas go over there, it looks like a lot of fun. And he got me in contact with Rob at Skegness, and I think we had the deal put together in March. So it's nice. I'm, sometimes with some of the racing here, like, if there's an off night, that comes about and, I manage to find a way to work it. Sometimes it's like I have maybe a day tops or, you know what I mean? It's just nice to have that ready. So I'm very appreciative of Rob, not only for the great opportunities put in front of me, but working with me to get it done in March, because I mean, once I hit April, like our season, we're racing 5-6 nights a week. Yeah. So it was nice to put it together early. And like I said, I'm crazy excited to get over there.
Yeah. Good. So obviously, kind of started with Timo's coming over. You watched his YouTube stuff, and then have you done any more kind of research on stock cars? Have you kind of, it's online? Is it there's lots of stuff out there? Have you kind of done much with that?
Yeah, I've been a Brisca junkie for the last few probably months, because once we kind of get through a certain part of the year, like yeah, we still race, and this is going to sound funny to you guys because I know you don't race nearly as much as we do, but like a slow week for us is racing twice in a week.
I
So
mean, like,
yeah, so like of the slower weeks that we've had, I've been doing nothing but watching your guys' YouTube stuff. That's been really helpful. Finding footage. You're the guys. Your onboards have been really helpful to help fully understand how insane this racing is. And then hitting up all the websites, hitting up all the other YouTube channels I can find. A lot of your drivers too. I don't have to explain to you guys, but a lot of your drivers do a great job of marketing
yeah,
themselves. And so I've been on it the last few weeks, and I don't know how it is with a lot of the commentators in the UK, but man, us, like especially like Brian Holbert, who's my guy I work with, 100 nights out of the year, we're just numbers and stat junkies. So that's
yeah,
just kind of how my brain operates anyway. And like I said, especially too with how different your racing is, I'm trying to be as ready to go as I can be going in.
yeah, absolutely. Timo's talked about it when I spoke to him around the contacts, and you've kind of referenced it already. That is something that's very alien to what you watch in America, isn't it? Contact's kind of almost unique to the UK. What is your initial thoughts on that?
I don't know how your drivers take it because, especially like I said, I was talking to Timez when he came back, and it's like the way I've been describing it to Americans because, they too aren't very familiar with it outside of Timez. The best way I explain it is a steel brick on wheels with no
Yeah,
crush zones. Like I don't know how the drivers do it. Like I'm fascinated to go over there and, not only talk to your guys that have been around for a while, but some of the younger guys too, because I mean, I think it's one of those deals, no matter how you slice it, that can't feel good in those race cars. And like the racing I'm in, it's all open wheel. I mean, contact, you're flipping over.
yeah,
So, obviously we have NASCAR. That's really big here too. But even their contact is in ways somewhat frowned upon too. But you
yeah.
guys fully embrace it, and it's not only just a part of the racing, but it's a part of the strategy of how you run the race too. So it's fascinating.
It is. It's very difficult, isn't it? Because even when I talk to people who don't know anything about stock cars in the UK, and it's like you go, well, they hit each other. It's like, yeah. Well, deliberately, yeah, that's part of it. There, and people struggle to get their mind around how you can deliberately go out and hit somebody else in a race car. But actually, that's what it is. That's the fundamental basics of UK stock car racing.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's completely foreign to America. Like I said, even in NASCAR or stock cars in general, like there is a strategy to it, but I feel like in the UK, because everybody has that, wired into their brains that I might have to hit this guy in the next corner. Like it's truly fascinating. So I'm really excited to get over there and talk to some people because, like I said, it's not just hitting each other too. Like you realize that very quickly watching
Yeah.
some footage, whether it's on board or from outside the racetrack. There is a strategy, like how hard do I go into the corner? How do I do this? How do I do that? So I know I've said it a lot, but it is truly fascinating to me.
Good. So you've done your homework. You're fully up to speed with as best you can be. So what are your plans for the weekend? What are you going to be doing when you're at Skegness?
Well, I've been talking to Richard, their one of their track guys, and I think they're going to start me off nice and slow the first night and let me kind of learn, and then we'll see where it's going from there. But Ben Hissett, who of course is with Tom a lot, and
Yeah.
he's Rob's like my business planner, Ben's like my fun planner.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I've got some stuff I've got planned after Skegness. I will tell you,
Yeah.
I'm going to Belfast. So a lot of people don't know this about me in general. So this will be nice for even some of the people from the US that watch the racing I cover all the time. I'm a massive ocean liner nerd. So like when I first got put together, I asked Rob, like, how far are we from Belfast? He's like, it's a plane ride. I said, that's all right. I don't mind.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, you go to Belfast, there's all the Titanic stuff, the White Star Line, like that has fascinated me since I was 8. Half of my YouTube's a very strange place to be because like up here's all racing stuff, from all over the world. And then right below it's all Titanic stuff. So I'm very excited to get over there. A few other little things planned as well because you never know when you're going to get the chance to go back. So I'm really appreciative of Ron and Rob and Ben to not only bring me over there, but to kind of point me in the direction of where to go with a
Yeah.
lot of cool stuff too.
Good. And how long is it? A week, 2 weeks?
About 8 days, so a little bit over a week.
Yeah.
Going to spend some time in Nottingham and then go over to Skegness and then, like I said, Belfast, and then I'll get to see Ireland for about 5 seconds, and then
Yeah.
then I got to go home because
Okay.
I think I'm trying to give myself enough time when I get home from the jet lag because I got to race. We race at Lawrenceburg with the non-wing sprint cars. That's like 3 days after I get back, so it's going to be an interesting turnaround for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It does sound like a great trip on paper, and certainly for me, and I'm sure other people, it'd be great to kind of get your insight when you're there, because it's like I say, you've seen it on television and or on your laptop, but actually to be there in person and witness it, it's gonna be different again, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm actually really excited to go on the infield the first night because, you would know this too. Like the race on the outside and the race on the inside of the racetrack, they're almost two totally different races.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'll get a chance to view something on the outside of the racetrack too. So yeah, and I'm kind of curious how loud these things are because I mean, obviously, your motors over there, they put out a lot of horsepower, but I want to know how it sounds a little bit morbid, especially for American race fans. I want to hear how loud they are when they hit each
Yeah.
other. Like, I mean, they slam into each other.
Yeah, they absolutely do. You do know, and you can hear, especially, and which is odd because even over the engine noise, you can still hear somebody hitting somebody, which I think is brilliant. But anyway,
It's going to
listen,
be an experience.
it's gonna be experience. Listen, you and I will catch up. I know you're going to do stuff for your own YouTube channel while you're over here, sort of documenting the journey.
Yeah, I don't have my own YouTube channel. Like I said, Rob is probably a lot better of a PR man for myself than I am. But this year, or at least over the last like 5 or so months, I've really tried to make social media more of a point, and I feel like I'm getting it to where a point I can, share to a lot of people. I'm not as cool as Thomas Meserol. I don't think a lot of people are, but trust me, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, they are going to get bombarded over the next week.
Fantastic. Good. Listen, it's been great to talk to you. I'm very conscious you have a plane in 20 minutes you need to leave for. Have 20 minutes?
Something like that.
Have a safe flight, first and foremost. And I look forward to seeing you at Skegness on Saturday and having a catch up and seeing what your thoughts are.
Awesome. Well, I'm very much looking forward to it. Not the plane ride so much, but I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
Watch Titanic while you're flying over. Get that on the screen.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I might have to download that before I head out for the airport.
Drake, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you at the weekend. Thanks so much.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.